Carlo, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I'm strong. How are you?
I'm awake. I'm alive. But my camera's blurry as it can get, so let's see if I can
You change
clean.
camera?
It's not like focusing today.
So I guess it's network, huh?
I think it's my phone itself. Here, I'm gonna stop my video and see if I can restart it.
Oh,
How about there? No, it's still blurry. Oh well, I guess I can't fix it.
so you always use your phone for the video output?
Yeah, my webcam is broken, so I can't really do it any other way. So I just set it up.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning. Sure.
How was your evening?
It was good. We played charades with our family. That was fun.
Nice.
Well, Colo, have you played that game? Charades?
No.
I bet
Is
you've
it
played
interesting?
similar to it. It's just you just take a bunch of pieces of paper and you write um, something on it like gardening or um, riding motorcycle or something, and then you fold the papers and put them in a container, and then a person picks a paper out and reads it to themselves, and they have to act it out without making sounds so that
What
everyone can guess what they're
they're
acting.
doing?
Yeah.
It sounds like the game I would call Pick and Obey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes we, it's you're talking about something or an idea. It's just a different name for it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So I guess it's Pick and Obey.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yesterday we went to Bishop's house for FHE. He lives at Idaho Falls. So
That's nice.
yeah, I don't know. It's not really clear to me what BYU wants to do starting today and the partial opening of, is it partial opening of campus or use of campus facilities?
Oh, I didn't read it. Was there an email about it that I missed?
Yeah, Ryan, did you get any email like that?
I see it now.
I haven't looked.
Yeah, I
I
haven't
mean,
read it.
YSA wards and stakes to resume limited campus use. Beginning Tuesday, June 2nd, YSA wards and stakes have limited approval to resume the use of campus rooms and offices for interviews and leadership meetings. However, this approval is only for individual and small group ecclesiastical needs, like correlation meeting. Decisions about sacrament meeting and other Sunday gatherings have not been made, but planning is active and under review. The transition back to campus will be gradual. For example, only buildings scheduled with the university will be opened for ecclesiastical use. Additionally, building use on Tuesdays and Sundays are only for limited windows of time. BYU is encouraging telework whenever possible. Leaders return to campus. That's about it. How's the whole thing? Oh, I didn't know about that. I missed it.
So did I.
I can offer an opening prayer.
Okay. Yeah, go
Great.
ahead.
Our dear Father in heaven, we thank thee so much for today. We thank you for our lives, the health that we enjoy in our bodies. We are grateful for the love we feel from our families. the support and the care. We also thank thee for our friends. We thank thee for, most especially for the atonement of thy Son, Jesus Christ. We are grateful also for the progress we've made as a team working on this very important project. We thank thee because thou have opened up source of inspiration to us. We are grateful because thou have also been giving us the strength and the knowledge to bring this to life. We ask that thou continue to bless us in our needs individually and collectively as a team, and also in our respective families. We ask you to please forgive us our sins, and let thy mercies always be there and thy grace be there for us. We ask that today will be a blessed day for us, both in our places of work and also in our homes. We pray for these and many other more blessings in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I think you prayed me here, Wakolo. Good job.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's been a while since Brother Godfrey's gone first. Do you want to go, Brother Godfrey?
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see if I can arrange a time to work on the some of the automated testing and the load testing kind of ideas today.
Great.
From yesterday, I took from that sprint planning meeting. I was thinking about that this morning, and I would like to work with each person on estimation and burn down chart ideas too. I still have been I've been a big fan of getting a kind of a system or a rhythm down to be able to learn how to estimate work better. Mostly because I think it's a good skill for everybody to be able to develop. I'd even propose that what it does for you is help you learn how to negotiate when you need to negotiate salary kind of issues or other work issues. I had a student that I just read yesterday on Facebook. He posted that he quit his job 6 months ago so that he could focus on building an app for the phone, and it's called Family Tools. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought, how empowering is that when you start to understand what it takes to create an app and start to learn your cost structures and such, so that when and if you ever choose to, you could break off, you could do your own thing, or you could start your own small company. Just having that ability to start to sense and understand cost structure and effort and work for a project, being able to estimate those kinds of things, that's a very powerful thing. And so I wouldn't mind working with each of you guys on that. I think it would help me for my project management class to have some good examples to be able to teach from as well.
Yeah.
I think what we could do with our group that would help with that is just being more disciplined about the board in general. We probably still are pretty lax about what we allow on the board.
Yeah.
But when it gets on the board, it should be required to have an estimate, I think. If it's in what? There's different phases. What's the one that should have points on it? I'm looking at it now. There's the backlog, there's inaction. I guess if it's in this, what do you think, Brother Godfrey? Which one should be required to have an estimate?
I would say I've read different things about this. Some do it when they go to sprint backlog. Some that do it when they actually go to action. Some do it when they do it in when it goes to the product backlog. I think we need to experiment a little bit and see what makes sense. My guess is most of the time what holds people up is the scope of the work of feeling like, oh, we've got to go through and estimate everything. And I think that's what bogs people down, and they don't want to get started on that because it sounds like a lot of effort that doesn't really yield a lot of tangible value. So one of my thoughts on it was instead of trying to go through and estimate everything right now, I'd almost say let's learn from what we have done, and let's maybe create a way we can go through like a sorting exercise where we look at the stuff that we have done and say, okay, let's look back on that. What's it worth? What's each card worth that we've completed? Mm-hmm. And then we can look at, once we go through that, I think we'll learn enough to start to look up the chain a little bit. But I'd almost say from a supply chain perspective, let's look at our finished products and then slowly work our way back up through our process chain to figure out where it makes sense to do this. And I think we'll get better at it that way.
So one thing I did yesterday is I actually did sort it so first by label, and then I also ended up just kind of getting a rough count on what I could figure out. And I think my count for myself is a little better than everyone else's.
Yeah, because you know more about your work, right?
Exactly. And so I estimate that I can typically, based off of the last sprint, 20-point allocation is pretty much, and that's I didn't even add up medium or anything. It's just 20 cards is what I usually, is what I dealt with.
Okay.
And then I also did this to see, because we talked about how QA had really fallen off last sprint. And I was just going to see if we had done any, and we had basically saw we didn't do any QA tasks. But this sprint, we've already come up with a lot of steps to do stuff like that. But then our DevOps, I counted 10 cards, and like we said, we probably missed a few things here and there. This isn't going to be completely accurate. But
so are you saying that a card is a point?
Some cards are more. So I thought the DevOps I thought that there might be 2 medium cards and 8 small. And then the back end, I saw 5 medium and 8 small. But I just added them together because sometimes even that I didn't know for sure. I didn't know if the deployment stage and the prod stage was actually a medium or a small, but I just took a rough guess yesterday.
That's fine. How many points would we say a medium is?
Probably just 2, maybe. I don't know.
I think this is where we could start to get into the other one of the popular methods for this is to use a Fibonacci sequence. They do 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Because for some reason it helps you in the thinking of scale. That tends to be how people tend to estimate scale. If I've seen when they go to a 5, 10, 20 model, it's just a little bit wrong on the bottom end. But if you do that Fibonacci 1, 2, 5, 8, 13, and then go 20, 40, 80, they call that the modified Fibonacci sequence. That seems to be good for discrimination of scale, discrimination of how big is big and how small is small.
Yeah, this is what we did at Ancestry, was the 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13.
I like that one myself.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
So I'd say maybe what we should do is just kind of like what you did, Ryan. Maybe today we go back through our list of cards and just identify what we think, which buckets they fall into, which points we'd assign to those.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of sprint retrospective. One of the functions or one of the meetings of Scrum that we haven't done yet is the retrospective, where we look back and say, what are we doing? How can we get better as a team with our team process, with the kinds of work that we do? How do we make it better?
Yeah.
So usually a medium we would call like a 3 or a 5, I think, a medium. Because of the scale, because you know you can go up to 13, right? So technically it'd be 5 or 8, but the team I was on, we hated. Well, I was on 2 teams. The first team I was on, everything was either a 5 or an 8. Every single story they did was a 5 or 8, which was really bad because it took forever to get anything done. Then the other team I was on, everything was a 1, a 2, or a 3. So
Is it
anyway,
kind of like that then? Like a 1 and a 2 is small, 3, 5, 8 is medium, and a 13 is large? Or
You got to fix your 13 though. You split your 13. There you go. And then you got a 1 on the line above it. There you go. You got it. Yep, I like that.
yeah.
Those are good. Those are good guidelines for now. Yep.
Is that what you think, Brother Murdoch, or would you put the 8 with the large as well?
I do. I think that's good.
Okay.
And you might hit 20, but I don't think we would yet. I don't think we've tackled anything that big yet.
Crazy.
And most of the time, if you see something that you estimate up in that scale, the 13 or 20, most of the time you've got to break it down into smaller scale stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess we could go through and make sure that we like measured these correctly. I know all those that was a medium. Project entity took me a bit, and I guess these are a little biased because I rated them after as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
and that's
not
okay.
what they were like predicted. They were what they probably actually were, or closer to that.
We kind of have to go through some of this just to start to tune our ability to estimate anyway. So don't feel like you did anything wrong. It's part of the learning curve.
Yeah. And then I thought for all the communication, like pitch 59, updating documentation, all of that, I just put as small. I don't think that took more than probably an email and a little bit of like back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And a lot of that's based on the relationship. When you've got like for pitch 59, the reason why that came about so fast is because I knew the guy so well. You know, we had worked in church callings together already. If you're cold calling people, a lot of times it takes more effort and time to really get things going. Yeah. But when you've got an established relationship, it goes pretty fast.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I probably could misguess is, and I didn't mean to say large there. The switching to this SQL server, that'd be a small, right?
No, I switched it to large just now.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
It took more time than you think, right?
Like literally 3 full days of work.
Oh,
wow. Like nothing else. If I had not had class, it was like that. 3 full days.
Wow. That's good to know. Sorry, I didn't understand that.
No, that's okay. I was just looking at it, and also I was trying to figure out where we could add points. Is there a way we can do that with cards?
Yeah. Maybe we, instead of large, we could do something like, okay, so.
There are some Trello add-ins that allow you to do story points.
I think
if it's not.
I could change it. I just changed mine from large to 8, and it took it.
Okay, that
works.
works.
Small one, or, name it kind of like what its initial like name is, and then with like the number beside it as well.
Do we need this large, small, and medium if we have a number?
Probably not, I guess. And it'd be a little cleaner, huh, to just have a number.
I think it's easier. And you see the number, you know how big it is.
Yeah.
It also increases the level of accountability between us, because like we just saw, a lot of times you think that you're doing all the work until you start to see what other people do, and then you realize, oh wow, they're doing a lot more than I thought they were. And for me right now, it's the reason I'm interested in this is because I want to get to where I want to be able to estimate the value of my work and the impact of it, and I want to be able to have a better way of reporting back up through management. I've got to go to stewardship review meetings for the university and request help and people, and I've got to figure out the cost to all that, and I've got to pitch it in a way that I can say this is how much this stuff is going to cost us, and we've never included manpower in those estimates in the past. How much does it cost for the manpower that it takes to accomplish the work?
Mm-hmm.
Down the road, I think that's going to be really important for us to be able to have that kind of data. Nobody across the university does that, but I think it's pretty important that we should.
It's kind of cool too because it gives it a different color. I didn't even realize that it was going to do that.
That's cool.
That actually helps out a lot when it's just another kind of filtering.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Project 55. Oh. And I like this. While we're doing this, going through and kind of just setting our estimates again so we kind of know our point range. Did anyone need to report anything they did yesterday?
I want to make sure I'm okay to shut down the old SQL Server instance now. Are you guys happy with how it is? Is there anything you needed from the old one?
I'm good. Well, Colo, is everything good with yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna be working with you today to get some stuff added, some C# ASP.NET codes added to the homepage and the user page.
One other question for Wakolo. Did you get your oh shoot, what was I thinking of? Did you get your CIT 298 internship all registered now? Are you into that class?
No, I haven't. So I'm waiting for a response from
Brother Hodges, probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
Brother Hodges, that's the name.
Okay. I'll if you don't hear anything today, or if you want me to, I can try and follow up with him on that. We need to get you in and going on that pretty quick.
Yes, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, I've deleted that old SQL instance. Thanks for all your help on that, guys. Or I thought yeah, it'll be deleted soon. Anyway.
Great. I think this is better too. This like numbering, I think, will give us a better perspective of the task itself, because I definitely had things that they took a little while, but they weren't a medium. But I think this will really help with identifying stuff.
It helps you budget, like Brother Godfrey was saying, because you can literally only do so much during a sprint.
Yeah.
You start making trade-offs when you have to think about it in terms of points, I think.
6, 8, 10, 13, 18, 23, 28, 32. So 32 for server side. Something I did yesterday as well is I went through and I updated our documentation to contain everything on the server side that we had done. So all of our documentation is updated, and I ended up doing it in OneNote on the Teams. it seemed like a little bit better to kind of map out some of that stuff on like tables and stuff. So,
What we're using OneNote for again, Ryan? Sorry, I missed that.
it's okay. Just to document what the like functions and some of the main entities were.
Cool.
Where'd you put it? Is it under documentation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got it. And then there's
And I
three.
know-
There's Constellation Web App, server-side programming, and CI/CD breakout. Did you work on all three of those yesterday?
So yeah, those are just breakouts from the main one in case someone doesn't want to have to scroll through the main. I just like grabbed what it was and threw it in there.
Awesome. See, this one's pretty important when we transition from one team to the next semester. When people start to look back on this later, it's pretty important to have. Thanks.
Yeah. And hopefully that contains, I think it contains everything I would need to duplicate my process and to redo what I've done. I don't know. I was thinking that like I left a little spot for front end. I don't know if front end needs to be documented or not, or what exactly that would include, but I put that there just as kind of a talking point today to see if we wanted to like have that as part of this or if that's necessary or not.
I would put it in there. I don't even know much about how you're doing front end stuff. It sounds like you're using some JavaScript, but you're also using CSHTML. Is that right?
Yes.
So it'd be good to explain that here, even if you
Yeah.
just said that.
On Bootstrap most especially.
The
Bootstrap CSS actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I mean, even if we add those 3 bullets, we're using CSHTML, Bootstrap, CSS, and JavaScript. It would be interesting. This looks like a good document.
No, I was supposed to bring up something else. There's too many things going. I think it was. We talked to Brother Murdoch about this yesterday, but I made these 2 lists as possible. I'll put this below. So, a team lead for public relations. Which right now, Brother Godfrey has definitely been fulfilling this role, but I know we talked about trying to find someone else. And then also, we talked with Brother Murdoch about a QA lead as well. No, reword that. But if you guys have ideas of potential people, you can put them here. And then this, yeah, I made QA sprint bot. I know I made this somewhere. Oh, this walkthrough with 5 friends. I wrote down the people that I probably will reach out to hopefully get a sit through them, kind of just going through the full process with me and get their input. So that's one of the QA steps I figured out yesterday too.
Nice. It looks like we're getting some response back from Kyle Tolliver of the IEEE Society too.
Oh, good.
Did you see his emails that came to all of us that he sent us his e-portfolio? It's hosted out on GitHub.
I tried to respond back to him asking about his willingness to contribute to our project. He didn't answer me.
Okay.
I put out there that we would love to have him even for 5 hours a week to help us write some automated tests, and he just completely ignored it.
Okay.
I don't know if he saw it or what, but
it doesn't surprise me. It's kind of, you always have the little red hen syndrome that kicks in. Everybody wants all cool stuff, but when you invite them to come do the work, they don't always want to come help with the work that it takes to make the bread. Right?
I think he just wanted to share how he shared his portfolio, and that's what he was willing to do. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, kind of felt like.
I think, yeah, we got to just keep putting out feelers, trying to get people drawn in wherever we can.
Yep.
Okay. There's that. And I thought that those two kind of points, the public relations person and the QA member. Next time we have Brother Lindstrom, we should ask him because I think he almost gets every single student through his class at one time or another. And so he definitely, he could have some thoughts too that we might not have thought of.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Well, so what was our points total then, if we were to make a guess?
So mine were like around 14.
14.
14, 15, 16, around there. I put all the points on there, but I haven't added them. I'll add them up real quick.
Okay. And public relations, I just put ones on these. Is that accurate, do you think, or were some of these tasks a little bit bigger? I know the ones I was on was definitely just a one, but like this pitch 59, would you say that was a one task, or was that more like a 2 or a 3?
Well, you got to add points for, this is something new to me, to have shared cards. Not saying it's bad, but if we do that, we should include the points for everyone, I think.
Oh, I see.
Because you want it to be added up to your total capacity for the team. How much of your team capacity was used for that effort?
Gotcha.
And the points should add up to the team effort, not the individual effort.
That makes sense. Me and Wakolo both attend the CIT Society and asked that, so maybe that'd be more of a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
Wakolo, what do you think? 2 or 3 for the CIT Society that we attend?
I would make it 2.
Make it 2.
And I think if you use the, building people and adding value kind of mentality with this, I think we're going to end up doing a lot. In fact, I hope we do a lot of pair programming and group programming kind of efforts, but it's probably, I don't know. I can see some benefit to doing both sides. What's the level of effort for the task, and what's the effort estimation for each person. I see some benefit to doing both sides of that, but I don't know that I want to get too tripped up on that yet.
Yeah.
If we try to just get too detailed in the accounting of it, sometimes that's an inhibitor.
But yeah, when there's more than one person involved, I did generally take whatever points I was doing on it and then add whatever I think they're doing.
I see.
Like,
probably a 3.
I guess the one thing that kind of strikes me on it is I do want to be in the mindset of we add points when there's value added, and not just for having a body on the task, because if you've been in group projects where you got freeloaders, you don't want to have people that volunteer to do tasks just to sit.
no.
And so maybe the point here is when we're tallying up points, we look at, okay, who is actively contributing.
Yeah, that's, I think, all we would do. I would never add points for someone who wasn't doing anything.
But let's just keep that mindset to it, that when we're tallying points, it's for adding value. It's not for just being a body.
Yeah, totally
That's
agree.
what all these are kind of about.
That's why I don't have any points yet, because I don't add a whole lot of value. I'm just kind of a body. So I can make fun of myself because I live it too much.
It's hard when you're in certain roles, it does feel that way with the Scrum mindset. It feels
does.
like you're not doing anything. I had a boss at Ancestry who really, really felt bad. He always felt bad about his contributions because he wasn't really technical and hands-on in what we were doing. And he was very open about it, that he felt like he wasn't contributing to the team, but he was doing all these other things that obviously were very important for us to continue working there at the company and having money for our team to pay people to work there.
Now, it's just not as project attributable. You have to look at it more of the administrative tasks and loads, and that's where you count it, you know.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of my load right now is counted in my administrative duties. I get six credits of load for being the guy that's dealing with all the questions and all the administrative stuff that nobody wants to deal with. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm taking credit for that there. I don't need to take credit for it here.
Right.
Okay. Let's count. I have 32 back end. And then 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 public reach out. Really don't even need that probably. And you said you counted 20 on your blue cards, Brother Murdoch?
Oh, I didn't notice those other blue ones. Hold on. Deployment to Kubernetes.
I'm late for another meeting. Sorry, I got to sneak off.
No problem.
Thanks, Brother Godfrey.
See ya.
Um, What I was trying to tell you earlier was how much I had done total. So I just put points on those two you were pointing at. So I think it adds up to 19 points that I worked on so far that's in the done column.
Gotcha. And what about the SSL certificates with the and the domain name? I know Brother Lindstrom did stuff with it, but I don't know how much time that took.
Yeah, you could ask him.
Okay.
I would, and if you don't have time to ask him or you don't get an answer, I would just put like a 1 on them, on each one.
Okay. Cool. So, and Wokolo, I know this is like super guessing, but do you have a guess on probably the points that you did for front end?
Yeah, so about that, so we're not giving point based on cards that we got done, right? Because if we were to do that, just like you can see as I'm adding, I guess I was supposed to be creating cards if I was working on the index page in the users folder, then I have to create a card for that. That's something that I've not been doing. Did you notice? Yeah, so I'll have to start doing that. Like today, I'm going to work on the homepage in setting out the gradients with different colors. And possibly, if I'm able to finish it on time, then I'll have to ask you for the CSS, I mean, the C# codes that makes them active. So we could actually count that as a card, isn't it? I guess if we were to also request points based on commits, to the
Oh
master.
yeah, commit. Then
Our
me and you are gonna be balling.
yeah, so yeah, I've not been doing that. That's why there's not too much green label on the sprint 2 done. But I'm gonna work on it and see how it looks. Yeah, because I worked on the users index page, the project index page, even the home page, and so I'll add that to the Trello list. I mean, Trello, I'll add those cards to the sprint 2 done, and then I'll let you know so we can have the points.
Yeah, because it looks like to me 32, 19, 11. I bet that you do 20 plus, like anywhere from 20 to 30 at the end of it. And so if that's the case,
Yeah, we can have it inserted that way. Then once I'm done reporting, we have the correct figures, we can change it.
yeah. I know the DevOps is actually going to be like 21 by the time we add those other two cards and get Brother Lindstrom. So we probably have like 70 points to spread across the sprint is my guess about that once we get a little more closer. But cool.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Is there anything else that we're missing?
Man, Ryan, you're doing so well. Sometimes I wonder if you have time to like take breaks or relax, because yesterday after the meeting, the sprint planning meeting, I saw you at the drop-in lab. You know,
Yep.
Dennis is my roommate and he is the lab attendant, I think. Dennis. Dennis.
Oh yeah.
So each time he has meeting with you, I always see him, and you're always there.
Yeah. After that, I had to go to that, and I guess that's just one of my other duties that doesn't relate to this though. But I try to use that as a thing to always reach out to people and ask them to join. I bugged them all about joining this or something else. So.
They're pretty good with meetings, right?
Yep.
That's cool.
All right. Well, I guess we can let each other get on to whatever. If you need anything, that was the one last thing. I have a pull request out. It was mostly just documentation stuff, writing notes, and making things look a little cleaner. So, for the most part.
Okay. I will look at it.
Awesome.
And you can look at it too, Okolo.
Yeah.
One way to learn code is to read pull requests. If you want to learn the C# stuff, you can try and read the code he's writing and understand it.
Reading some, actually.
For the most part, I added they're called regions. And so then you can easily minimize big blocks of code. And I added that to every controller.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ryan, do you want to throw some light on the Q&A section?
Say that again?
The Q&A. You want to
Which
explain
one?
that?
Is it on Trello?
On the product backlog. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one?
Yeah.
What about it?
Those checklists. For example, the image uploads.
Image up. Oh, it was running like, so these are supposed to be like tests that we need to like design. So like uploading images, not there's kind of like 10 things that you could probably test against, like, is this a real image? And like we need someone to go through and say, okay, I'm going to try to upload a PDF. I'm going to try to upload some malicious stuff to see if I can get through. And so that's what QA will hopefully do. They'll also maybe try to, I did this. I uploaded an image, went right back to the page, tried to upload another one, and I found an error because it doesn't have time to save that image and delete the old one. And so that's the kind of stuff that QA needs to go through and do, like user creation, and do some crazy wonky stuff with user creation. And they're supposed to throw really odd things at the system to see what breaks it. And these two were obviously,
I guess that would also include uploading like very large images.
yeah, like too high resolution. And we could add that stuff, like too high res, really fast upload after initial. And the reason why this hasn't really had much attention on it is like I forgot about QA last sprint. I just didn't touch it. And so if we had a QA lead, their job would be to come up with the different kinds of tests and the different like ways to pressure the system to see what is needing more improvement. And then they would tell me and say, you have something wrong with your controller and you need to go make it more redundant. Or they would tell you, there's something on the front end that bugs out if I do this. And they'd probably do the test for both the back end and the front end. And then they would report to us to go fix it.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah. I tried to do some, I mean, I did some, I don't think I even marked it as QA, but there was like some of these entities I only found because I went through and I was just testing the system to see what broke. And then I finally found something. What was it? I think it was that collaborators were not initially added to a project, or the maker of the project. And so if they didn't add themselves in the drop down, then it'd break and no one would be owner of that project. And so that's one thing that I added when I went through and did a few tests and stuff. But those are manual tests, and those aren't very good for really finding like big issues. They can find some, but not as good of ones.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right then.
Were you still looking at that code for that pull request, Wacolo?
What code?
The the 39 pull request 39. Were you looking at it?
No.
No. Okay. Then we'll just merge it. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess if you guys don't have anything else that we need to talk about, we can just break off.
Yeah, I was trying to think today what I should work on. I guess I'm thinking I'm a little torn, but I feel like I should probably work on the environment flag that, remember Craig was talking about. There's this variable that you set, an environment variable that tells .NET what environment you're in.
Oh yeah.
It's called ASP.NET underscore environment. That will do a lot for us as far as like connection strings and stuff, because we could have different connection strings for dev, stage, and prod and all that.
Yeah. Do you need any help with that, or do you just want to research it?
I'm just gonna research it and try it on my own and fill it out and see if I can get it to work. That's what I was thinking.
Awesome.
I don't think it'll be that complicated, but I wanted to try it and see. So I think that's probably what I'll be working on today. And then if Brother Godfrey gets to the performance test stuff, I'll help him with that. And if you need anything, Ryan or Wakolo, just let me know.
You already have the Microsoft Doc found that you were going to look at?
Yes.
Okay. Because I found one too that I think is pretty good.
Yeah. The one I have is this one. I'll share with you.
Let me stop mine.
I just put it in the chat.
Yep. I think we're on the same one.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, so then I would have to introduce that. So you guys might need to set it in your Visual Studio once we get it all working. Or we might be able to do a default environment, in which case you wouldn't need to, but I don't know. Anyway, that's in the future. It doesn't matter right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. See you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.